everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on all types of topics related to narcissism. So if you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. I would really appreciate it if you gave the video a thumbs up. It's a free way you can help me out. And definitely don't forget to leave a comment because I like to read what you have to say. When I began my channel close to 2 years ago, I'd been separated from my ex for about 6 months. I actually don't know for sure why I even began this channel. You know what? Actually, I do. Maybe I do. I think God led me to do it, but I wasn't conscious of that, yet I still listened. When I really knew what narcissism was, I had to tell other people. Because at the time, I thought it was rare that maybe someone out there had been as confused as me and I could help them by telling my story, filling them in. Maybe someone else wouldn't feel so isolated, so alone, so freaked out. Being married to a narcissist is an insane experience. It literally takes over your life. You are dumbfounded, absolutely confused on a level unexplainable to those with no knowledge. You can't believe what is happening. It's like this person's body exists, but whatever it was that made the person who you thought they were doesn't exist. Except sometimes they do. Sometimes you see them just long enough to have hope. It's a vicious, brutal cycle. When I began this channel, I was learning about narcissism. I didn't know how prevalent it is that many people experience this. I thought it was just me. I could not understand. I didn't know anybody else who was dealing with things like I was. I tried so desperately to understand his thought process. I just could not wrap my brain around it. It's almost like if you tried to understand, like really think about the vastness of space. For me anyways, I can't do it. I keep wanting to end it. And I'm like, wait, there is no ending. It goes on and on. Or to really understand how a black hole works. How is this? How is this possible? You can't understand it. That's like narcissism. It is just beyond our mindset. And that's the whole thing. A narcissist is so fundamentally flawed. They have a serious personality disorder. They don't think the way that we do. It's almost like, they're like a Martian or something. We cannot understand them. Like they speak a completely different emotional language. So no matter how hard we try, we will never understand them. And when I started learning about narcissism, I thought there could be other people out there, someone who doesn't get it. I could fill them in. That was really the point of me starting my channel. When I began the channel, I was afraid. I was scared and traumatized. I was trying to figure out how to raise my kids as a single mother, hold on to my house, buy food after being a stay-at-home mother for almost 20 years, and keep my ex away. I was also freeing myself from the person my ex turned me into. Now, the thing about my situation, my recovery has been different than a lot of people, and I really think I have it pegged down I think I know the reason for it. I live with Joe. We've been separated from our exes for just about the same amount of time. I'm a little longer. Joe's been 2 years. I've been 2.5 years. But the difference in our recovery has been night and day. And I really think it's kind of like the same reason I started this channel. For some reason, I started listening to the inner voice inside myself. Now I know it's the Holy Spirit, but I didn't know this at the time. I just did what I thought was right. I did what I thought I should do. And even if I was uncomfortable, I went from having lots of friends to having no friends. And when I first split up with my ex, so we split up in December, I can remember this started in February. I was at church with my kids one day and I just decided when I saw in the bulletin that there was a small group, I thought, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the small group. Now I have to tell you, I never in a million years would have even contemplated doing something like that months earlier. But something in me was like, just do it. And so I was so afraid to do it because this was so unlike me. And I told my kids, you know what? I'm going to do the small group. And my kids were like, really? You are? But I did it. I went, I was afraid, I went, and that small group that's when I started making friends. It was from those people, and it spread from there. It was an amazing thing for me to do. So I kept doing things like that, and it helped my recovery tremendously. I was freeing myself from bondage. I was breaking the chains that my ex put on me. It was like day by day, and it was phenomenal. So much has happened in the last 2 years. I can hardly believe it. Initially, I thought that it was going to be impossible for me to divorce my ex. I would hear about other people who could do it, or I would see other videos, and I would think to myself, well, they can do it, but I can't. When I make my videos, one of the things I really like to stress in my videos is how impossible my situation was. And yet I did it. So, I've learned this. I've learned this with my own life. Man believes things are impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Truly, you can have whatever life that you want. The secret that I use, that I think is what helped me, is that I listened to that voice. I just kept doing what I needed to do, what I thought I needed to do. And that made all the difference. Doors started opening. Like I said, I know it's the Holy Spirit. I did what the Holy Spirit said, and everything changed in my life. Today, as I make this video, I am days away from, if things go well, a very deciding day in my divorce. On Monday at 9 a.m., my ex and I are meeting with a mediator. And this could finalize things in my divorce. Now, I won't be divorced no matter how well the meeting goes, but it can be just a paperwork thing at that point. Now, I know my ex is a narcissist, and I know that they don't like to make life easy. In fact, they like to make life very difficult for you. And one of the odd things about narcissism is that they want to hurt you even if it hurts them. So they don't care. They'll hurt themselves to make you miserable. So I'm going into this realizing that. But I'm also crucially going into it not giving a flying you-know-what. And I feel fantastic like this. And I'm going to talk about that today. By nature, I'm emotional. It really doesn't take much for me to cry. My daughter is the same way. So sometimes we'll be crying. We can't stop. The tears will just be coming. So we'll be crying, and I'll be talking to her or my son or Joe or something, and I'll be saying, no, I'm really okay. I just can't stop crying. So I'll be pouring tears while trying to speak rationally. It just happens to us. Now, my daughter and I also have the unfortunate, inappropriate emotional response of laughing when things aren't funny. But I digress. I've been emotional and often upset about things regarding my ex. For those of you who watch my channel regularly, you know some of the things he's done. Briefly, if you're a new subscriber, he's broken into my house, stalked me, harassed me, showed up in my house with a loaded gun, tried to get me arrested falsely, to name just a few things. My 2 children have dealt with fear and stress, PTSD. We were forced to abandon our home in the middle of the night to escape my ex. Things have been bad. Several months ago, when I was still living in New Hampshire, I was extremely upset and afraid after meeting with my attorney. And Joe told me, Sharon, you need to not, now excuse my language, I'm quoting Joe here, you need to not give a fuck. He wants to scare you, intimidate you. He controls you that way. You want to mess with him, Sharon? You want to mess with him? Don't give a you-know-what. He won't know what to do. Make him think you are nuts. You want to see the kids? Take them. They can live with you full time. Joe asked me what my ex would say if I said that. So I told him I think he'd be shocked and probably initially would say, okay. Yeah, Joe said, until you asked him where they're living. What about homeschooling? How are you going to do that and work full time? Who's going to be taking care of the kids when you're at work? They're minors. Are you making dinner every night? Driving them back and forth to friends and activities? You know what? Actually, take the dogs while you're at it. Remember, Pac has cancer. Will you be driving 45 minutes to get the medicine from the compounding pharmacy? Remember, he needs it every day. Actually, you know what? You figure it out. It's your new life. You wanted all this. Take it. What would your ex say to that, Sharon? You want the house? Take it. Take it all because I don't give a beep. That's how you take control. Let him be afraid of you. Now, when Joe was telling me this, I kept interrupting him. But I do care. Then he's going to walk all over you, Sharon. Sharon, you're dangerous when you don't give a fuck. You're an afternoon snack when you do. Fast forward a few months. Guess what? I'm not afraid one bit about Monday. I literally don't care. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he can have my son, the dogs, the house, etc. But what I am saying is that I don't care what he says or what he threatens. I'm free. Joe was right. When he said that months ago, he was right. His advice was exactly what all of us need to hear. Our fear, our anxiety gives the narcissist power. That makes them win before you even get to the battlefield. When it comes to the narcissist, they don't care about the kids or the pets or any of that stuff as much as they care about upsetting you. You know when people say, if you're afraid of public speaking, to picture the audience naked? I'm not sure about that, but you know what you should do? When the narcissist is making demands and trying to intimidate you, picture them wearing a diaper and a bonnet and holding a bottle in their hand. Take away their drug. You and me, we are their drug. They have nothing without intimidating us. I marvel at God's timing. If you've been following my channel, you know I've been very frustrated with my attorney. She's taken forever to do things. But you know what? I actually see God's hand in this now. I gave a you-know-what until recently. So it isn't like I really don't care, but I'm not afraid in the slightest. Guys, a couple weeks ago, Monday, I would have been so freaked out. I'd be talking to Joe nonstop and asking him to help me, comfort me. I'd be so afraid. I'd be crying. I would be a mess. I wouldn't be able to sleep. I wouldn't be able to eat. Now, literally, it's nothing. I literally don't care. I want to be free. That's what I want. I want to be free. It's kind of weird, but my son's birthday is Tuesday, and Joe and I have court dates on either side of it. So Monday's my big day, and Wednesday is Joe's. So yesterday, Joe was anxious about his court date, and I said to him, Joe, months ago, we agreed that if at the end of this we had pennies to our name, we won. Because the real goal is freedom from the narcissist. Do you believe that? Or did you just say it because it sounded good? I believe it, he said. Then you have nothing to worry about. For both of us. For you, I realize there are complicated issues for many of us. But what I'm really trying to do, what I'm really trying to accomplish with this video is have you remember the main goal, freedom. Remember that. Don't get wrapped up in the details. All of us, none of us, we might not escape without any scars. But if we end this nightmare, we won. We have our freedom. If Joe and I are both working minimum wage side jobs because the courts let our abusers take more from us, we won. We get to live. We get to start over. We get to live without the constant confusion, the insanity, the fear. Now, I'm not saying that narcissists aren't going to cause you problems, because it would be a problem if my ex suddenly got my son half the time. My son is traumatized by him. He doesn't want to be with his abuser. So I'm not saying I wouldn't be upset about something like that, but I am saying I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of any of it. None. He took it away. I literally don't care. I am at such a point when I think of where I was 2 years ago. I didn't think that I thought it was a miracle that my ex hadn't forced his way back into the house. How was I ever going to divorce this person? Now I'm going to this important court date on Monday. I'm not afraid. Being free from the narcissist is the best thing that can happen. Now, I spoke with my attorney today, and she said that I probably won't get alimony. My ex is desperate to try to force me back to New Hampshire for a court date. I don't care. I don't care if I don't get alimony. I don't care if I have to go back to New Hampshire. I already won. I got away. I'm free. I have my kids. I have love and happiness. He already lost. Maybe I'll lose $1,000 a month in alimony. He might succeed in making me go back to New Hampshire for a court date. That's fine. I can see my friends. And you know what? What my ex doesn't realize is that he forces me back to New Hampshire. Where are his kids going to be? With my boyfriend. My ex thinks he has control over me, that he still has control over me. He's trying to scare me and abuse me the same way that he always did. Narcissists continue to play by the same rule book. I've been blessed to not care. If you get to this point, you won't believe how good it feels. I am trying to get it across. Hopefully I have. Not caring, just going into these things stone faced, but really not caring. Now, maybe you're not going to be quite, as Joe says, and literally not give a fuck. But if you get to it where you're like, you know what? My goal is freedom. Not that you don't want anything else, but that freedom is your goal. The just you going through the divorce is taking your freedom back. You've taken control from the narcissist. If you give them any emotion, they will circle you. It's like bleeding next to a shark. Reacting with fear to a narcissist is what they want. Remember who you are, who you're dealing with, and act accordingly. Narcissists are pathetic. Without us, without their supply, they collapse in on themselves. So remember who they are and remember who you are. We are gaining our freedom from the narcissist. We already won. Everything else is just a moot point, just some inconvenience that we have to deal with. If you go into this with the right mindset, I've said in another video recently, mindset is everything. You won. Accept that you're not going to have the same lifestyle. Accept that life might be a little difficult, but my God, you're free. You're free. If you are free from the narcissist, you won. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped. So over the weekend, I'm hoping to do a video with Joe, which will be released on Monday. My court date is on Monday. So next Wednesday, on Wednesday's video, I will have a lot to say. Actually, this is going to be the first time that I've actually seen my ex for quite a while, since before I left New Hampshire. So I'll fill you in on that as well. Thank you, everybody, for watching this. I really, really want everybody to know, if you are dealing with a narcissist, you can get out. No matter what you think, you can. Listen to the inner voice in you. If you don't believe in God, that's fine. You still have an intuition. Listen to the intuition. It changed my life. Watch some of my earlier videos and you'll see what I'm talking about. Sometimes when I think about my earlier videos, I cringe at them because I feel like I sound so different and amateur. It's not that I'm so professional now, but I think I speak better than I did at the beginning. But I keep them up because I really do want to help people. You can see where I was and where I am now. I'm not unique. It can happen to all of us. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and hopefully I'll see you on Monday with Joe. But regardless, I'll see you on Monday and Wednesday. It's going to be the big day. So have a great day.